Hello and welcome to Voice of the Boys, episode number 7, episode for Henrik Larsson, the best of the best.
Ever so positive.
Henrik Larsson. I am Chris, as always.
And I'm Jack, here we go.
Welcome back, as always. If you've made it this far, keep continuing to watch, keep continuing to share, and keep continuing to like and subscribe. We're doing very well on TikTok, Twitter and YouTube. Hoping to grow and connect as much as the Celtic family as always, and we're hoping to give our opinion of the start of the season and the transfer rumours and things to come up.
Yep. The season has arrived. Opening day, Flag Day has came and gone. We are now here after Flag Day, a very interesting day, not only for Flag Day but for Scottish football in general. Some positives, some negatives to speak about. Let's take it away.
Well, Flag Day, flag got unfurled. Brilliant display by the Green Brigade and the boys, as always, usually in these sort of occasions. Brilliant with the tifos and things like that. James Forrest doing the flag. I think that 10-minute cameo at the end as well for him coming on was just a bit of respect, showing. I don't think James Forrest will feature heavily this season, as I've said, but him doing the flag shows a bit of respect for us as a group in the fan base, just towards someone who's dedicated a lot of their career and
all of their career
and someone who hopefully when he does retire will stick about at Celtic. The game finished 4-2 obviously.
4-2, and let's see who's the scorers, Chris.
David Turnbull got 2. Nice penalty from David Turnbull to start us off. It was a shaky 15 minutes at the start for Celtic trying to find feet. It always usually is. Sometimes against Ross County, especially with guys like Naroki coming in. Mm-hmm. This is the first competitive game. Played brilliantly at the back for us, I thought. We'll touch more on that.
I think obviously, you know, you're coming up against a team who are already a month into their competitive season.
Well, obviously, yes, playing exactly about to say with the cup.
You know, so look, we can't look at that 15 minutes at the start.
No Champions League qualifiers, thankfully for us this year.
Yes.
They had a competitive group stage for the cup. So David Turnbull opening the scoring with a penalty.
Definitely a penalty, Chris. I think he leaves the leg dangling, catches the player coming into the box. And as a penalty, I don't think there can be any grumblings from the Ross County fans there. I think they were the architect of their own downfall with that penalty.
Then a brilliant bit of football work for the second.
A brilliant bit of football for the second.
I think Turnbull to Abada doing what he usually does best, getting the ball crossed in.
Getting the ball crossed in, and Kyogo's movement, and the finish, first time, right foot finish, bottom left hand corner. Well, keeper's bottom right. Brilliant finish.
I think Kyogo as well shows as well that as much as he only scored, I think, the 1 goal in pre-season, you don't lose instinct.
No, I know, but there's interesting things to talk about with Kyogo, about the way he played. I've seen a lot of articles and stuff. We'll go into that in a minute.
We'll touch on that in a minute. Turnbull with the third. Brilliant footwork from Matt O'Reilly dancing through. And the
wee dink over. Turnbull places the ball into the ground, which was the right decision, over the goalkeeper's head and into the top of the net.
Then, if I'm correct in saying, Ross County pulled one back from a corner kick. Jordan White, their prolific goal scorer that I told you about last week. Yes. Very poor defending, I think. That's Joe Hart's area. He needs to come out and collect the ball. We will touch more in detail on things like that coming up.
I think we'll look at the goals that we concede, and we understand that a lot of the goals Celtic concede are because of our own fault. We rarely ever concede a goal.
You hit the nail on the head.
Brilliant bit of football.
Last week you said that, if I'm correct in saying, that the only way we will concede won't be from fantastic football, it'll be from mistakes.
We made
a mistake, and it was from Joe Hart not demanding his box. Next one, the fourth goal, brilliant first time pass by Kyogo, straight through Matt O'Reilly. All he has to do is stick the ball away.
And he puts the ball away very well.
Very well.
Nice bit of power.
Matt O'Reilly, definitely, we will touch on things further on, just getting all the goals out the road. Brilliant placement, brilliant ball from Kyogo, but Matt O'Reilly's definitely thriving so far, especially after pre-season and in that first game. The last goal was a consolation goal, James Brown consolation.
It's 95th minute.
It's a 95th minute
goal.
Yeah,
again, poor defending.
Deflection of Carol Starfelt, a man that we will also touch on, and in the back of the net. Joe Hart for me is a wee bit flat-footed, but you need to be on your toes. We've always been told that from junior football, from Sunday League to professional. Look alert on your toes. He looks very flat-footed. We will touch on things.
I mean, I know you're right. I mean, so what do you want to talk about first?
Let's go through the positives. It's nice to start the positives.
Now, can I name the first positive is Kyogo's play? I feel like we've seen a different Kyogo. I feel like we've seen Kyogo drop further back, be more part of the play. Postecoglou look for Kyogo to run off the shoulder of players many times and, keep repeating these runs. We've talked about in the past how many runs we see Kyogo make without the ball being there. We've seen Kyogo now come back, come into the play a wee bit more, change that role, play a wee bit deeper, but also have the movement that he usually has. This could lead, if Brendan Rodgers teaches Kyogo how to play this other role perfectly, we could see a more dominant Kyogo in the league this season.
I think with Kyogo, I remember him, when Ange first came in, he kind of played as a sort of false nine, and I remember Jota and Abada hugging the touchline and hugging the halfway line, especially corner kicks. Kyogo's on the post and things like that. There was a goal at Motherwell 2 seasons ago. I remember being at Firth Park, and it was Jota who scored, and it was the ball was picked up from Kyogo. Motherwell were on the attack. Kyogo tackled. Kyogo passed the ball to Tom Rogic. Tom Rogic kind of drived with the ball, played through Jota. Kyogo can play deep, and he's shown that.
And that will be a great asset to his game, because you know, if we can do that, a lot of teams are going to be ready this season. I believe, to try and defend Kyogo's runs. You know, they'd have spent all off season thinking about these players, and when they play Celtic, what we're going to do is we have to stop Kyogo. It
sort of reminded me. I remember saying. I remember a few times. I remember Kyogo. He was able to drop back, especially at the start of Ange's first tenure. I think because it wasn't Ange's midfield. He had Turnbull, who obviously we will touch on more. Tom Rogic, Beaton and McGregor as his sort of 4 midfielders. Obviously the only really one that featured a lot under Ange was Callum McGregor, so it wasn't his midfield at all, so he wanted Kyogo to kind of drop in, win the ball. It reminded me a bit of Liverpool's false 9 system a couple of years ago with Firmino, and just letting sort of Mane and Salah, Abada and Jota do the work and drive, and that's what it kind of reminded me of. Kyogo definitely is going to be a crucial part. There's a big reason he got offered a 4-year contract. When Rodgers came in his first time, he had a 40-goal striker in Griffiths, and if I remember correctly, Griffiths didn't feature heavily as much as he would have liked to have under Rodgers in the first year. It was a lot of Moussa Dembele. Obviously a lot of Celtic fans are saying that we want another striker, and it might just be for backup options. Obviously you've painted the picture that you would like someone for maybe a more European proven level.
I just look at the way is that if you can get someone better than what you currently have, and you can afford someone better than what you currently have, which there's not many people that are better than Kyogo, but if you could find someone that was better than Kyogo and played better than Kyogo and put in better and scored more goals and created more chances, then you know you have to play that person, which I don't think will happen with this team, but that's obviously what happened with Lee Griffiths, Moussa Dembele and that time. Is that we brought in someone who unfortunately for Lee Griffiths was more deadly. He was adding more to the team, he was playing the way Rodgers wanted, and I think that's why he got let down. However, I think Kyogo suits Brendan Rodgers a lot better, and I think Brendan Rodgers has a plan for Kyogo.
Oh, absolutely, and I think especially with Kyogo, he's bought into what Celtic means. I think he's very dedicated to the club. I don't think that there was many strikers who, as I said a couple of weeks ago, have renewed their contract that we can remember since Larson.
Yeah, there's not been many.
So Celtic to retain a striker of Kyogo's level is very, very high, and it's very, very promising. The issue is obviously, I think you lose Kyogo from the team. Dies Maeda, I think, done brilliant in pre-season. He's a bit unproven in Scotland, obviously up front. He started a couple of games under Ange, and then Giacomakis kind of came in and featured. There's always that sort of worry about, but you've got O, and I think O as well, done really, really well.
Well, yeah,
but
I agree.
If you lose Kyogo in Europe, it's going to be an uphill battle.
No one wants to lose their most efficient goal scorer. You know, I think that would be a problem for any team, especially a team who relies so heavily on someone finishing the ball. You know, we have lost a lot of goals this season from the left wing position, and a lot of assists, and I don't think necessarily we look at it that we can prove now that we've replaced those goals. You know, with the guys that have come in, you know, we just need to wait and see. It's just you know, we can't predict what's going to happen, but I think if to lose a guy like Kyogo, however many goals he scores this season, to lose that for any period of time would be a disaster. So hopefully let's keep Kyogo fit, wrap him in bubble wrap when he's done playing games, and don't let him out of the house.
Kyogo, you're housebound now, you're not allowed out. Touch on David Turnbull, good man.
Let's touch on David Turnbull. Now, I think last week I spoke about him. I don't know if everything's coming into one, but last week I said David Turnbull was going to be exceptional this season. I think I said, look, I really believe him. I really believe in him. He's had a hard couple of years with injuries. Before he came to Celtic, a really bad couple of injuries. He's been so unfortunate that the guys he's been playing behind have been exceptional midfielders. Scott Brown, you know, a lot of guys like that. Exceptional players.
So when he first signed him, correct in saying it was Scott Brown, McGregor, Neacham, Christie were all in front of him.
Now look at that, you know, these are all good
and then
guys,
he kind of broke through under Lennon. I think Lennon didn't have much of a choice, and then obviously the team got gutted. David Turnbull played really well under the first 7 months of Ange, got that bad injury in the cup final against Hibs, And then he kind of hasn't really featured. He's featured on and off, sub appearances, sub cameo appearances. Not really. He's got goals and things like that from the bench, but he's never been a sort of
starter or someone who you'd put in your starting 11.
This is something I obviously watched the interview after the games and things like that. Matt O'Reilly very much was, and doing the interview with them, and I thought the pair of them were perfect, brilliant throughout the whole game. Matt O'Reilly sticking up for him, saying he's too good to be on the bench. He deserves what he's got. He's not good enough to be sitting on the bench. I think he should be playing every week. He should be featuring. He deserves what he's getting now. And for me, it's very human to see that. And I think as well, for these two guys who are going to play very familiar positions, it says a lot that Matt O'Reilly said that.
I think, we hit the nail on the head a couple of weeks ago when we said that if David Turnbull's NL team in Scotland, David Turnbull plays. Even a lot of teams in the Championship, the lower end of the Premier League in England, he plays because he is a good football player. He might not be the technically most polished player, we know this, but what he gives you in raw emotion, ambition and effort, kind of makes up for some of his shortcomings. And I think that now he's ready and he sees under Brendan Rodgers this may be his chance to either push for a move somewhere else, trying hard, or cement his place in that starting lineup, and challenge guys like Rio Hatate, challenge guys like Matt O'Reilly. I think, in all honesty, David Turnbull could be, one of your most improved players this year.
Absolutely, I think as well, he's one of these guys that he is so okay. He's a bit slow, but he's brilliant just being able to sort of read the game. Yeah. He likes a shot from outside the box. It's something that's kind of died out from this team a wee bit, especially under Ange, because I felt with times it was more get the ball to the winger.
We're trying to walk the ball into the net.
Which isn't a bad thing because we got a lot of goals from cutbacks and things like the first goal in the cup final. I think that was very much Ange's football. The midfield or the winger dancing in the box, Matt O'Reilly tends to do it, cuts the ball back, goal, and there's a lot of Kyogo goals are like that, and a lot of Kyogo goals is that how he thrives because he likes the ball cut back to him and having a pop at goal. Yeah,
I think we can play both ways. Either working the ball out wide, cutting back, or even sometimes having a shot. The ball comes off a defender, ball comes off the goalkeeper, he spills it out. Kyogo's going to be there because the position and the movement's that good. And I think that's really good. We're lucky that way. We've got a striker who can fit into both styles of play. He could play, he can play the cutbacks. He can play moving into position. He can play every way that you would want your striker to play. And I think that is also it's just a brilliant problem to have, is that you've got a guy and it says a lot for the guys behind them, like, you're not going to get many chances.
You're going to get chances, but I think it's going to be because as Matt O'Reilly did say in the social media, in the press media conferences, you've got 60 games this season, and we're all going to have to take time out and rest and things like that, and that's what Matt O'Reilly said, and I think that's 110% true with Kyogo. But I think as well as we've touched on, you are going to rely on the three guys that we have said obviously in the earlier
There's a couple
episodes.
Of guys in that team that are sitting out more than 15 games, Carter Vickers, Cal McGregor, Kyogo. That's it. I think it's pretty common sense that you want to get your best players in the field at all times, especially for the big games. And I think that's what Brendan Rodgers will try to do. He'll try and give people time and rotation, but I feel like for the motivation of the team and to keep the spine of the team there, those guys need to be there or thereabouts.
Naroki, Yang and Holm all came on. Well, Naroki started. Really impressed with Naroki. We're going to touch on more, obviously.
Looked really steady in the ball, he looked okay. Driving forward fast, none of this little touches.
Once we fall into the transfer rumour hole, we'll talk
we'll talk about that.
Rocky, because I think we all know what's going to be said. Yep. Yang and Holm, I think, are doing really, really well.
Holm looked brilliant. I think Holm looked fast, he looked quick, he looked intrigued, he looked interested, he was up for it.
Yang's one of these guys as well that is the exact same, and they're so young, the pair of them, and I think there is a definite future for Celtic, and see how they go and how they grow.
100%. I think look, at the end of the day, things going to be. I think now, if you're looking for possession, you're not just pushing for first team football, but you're pushing for, can I use it for lack of better words, best of the rest. You're pushing to be that first guy off the bench coming on. Absolutely. Because that's where you're going to get a lot of game time if you're not one of those starting three. Is coming off the bench about 60 minutes and running your pan in, making the efforts, and I think that's what Thiago Holm done there. I think he came off the bench, he made a good effort, he ran about, played some good passes, he won the ball, made some good runs, and I think that's exactly what we're looking for him to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. Carter Vickers looks as if he's not been away.
Carter Vickers looks brilliant. Carter Vickers looks
He
solid.
must have had a brilliant extended holiday, didn't he? He must have. You know how remember we were all scared last year about Jota signing. Think Carter Vickers was doing the world tour this year because he honestly looks as if he's
away
just
playing football in New York.
Honestly, he looks as if he's just after that Old Firm Old Firm. Sorry, I've been hunted. We're not meant to call it the Old Firm anymore. Glasgow Derby game at Ibrox. No, not Ibrox. Hampden, the 1-0. Remember he had to go to offshot. After the one at Hampden, it looks as if he's just kind of chilled. He obviously had to go for treatment. And
let's be honest, the boy obviously picked up. I'm calling the boy. I don't know why he's older than me, and he picked up a pretty bad injury, whatever it was, to do with his knee or his ligaments, and those can be career-ending injuries. And the last thing we want is to see anyone's career ended. No one's career ended, especially one of our best players. He needed the time to relax, and he needed the time to recover. We didn't want to force him in. The league was won. We did drop some stupid points and we let in some stupid goals with him. It showed how much we missed him. However, we wanted him to recover fully, and look, you let him recover fully, and look at now, it's paying you back. It's paying you back double, because the games at the end of the season weren't important. You're losing to Hibs. I felt bad. It always feels bad losing as a Celtic supporter at any club. But at the end of the day, these are the games that matter now, and it's brilliant to have him back.
He's one of these guys that I think is just going to be so
pivotal.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. He's just going to be crucial. As we said, you can't drop him, McGregor or Kyogo for.
No, you can't, unless they are nursing a wee bit of an injury or they need a wee bit of rest, and it's really, really badly needed. We take it. But I think the positives went through there, are really positive. For lack of a better word, obviously. But I feel like, looking at the way that we've transformed some players, have came back so much better than they were last season, shows us kind of the work Brendan Rodgers has been doing at training. So
the negatives, obviously there is negatives. There's
always negatives. Like, we know the game was won, and people will go, "Oh, the game was won. There's no negatives." That annoyed me for a lot of years. Celtic fans doing this would scrape a 1-0 win, or would scrape a goal by one goal.
I remember one at Partick Thistle we bet, and it was Lee Griffiths scored really late on it at Celtic Park, and it was I was like, that was. I'm
going more back to Albion and Jetty scoring at Dundee United.
I'm further back than you.
I know you're further back. That's where I'm going back.
A Jetty Tannadice, wasn't it?
Tannadice, he scored.
Remember that? I don't know if you remember it. The Scott Brown, and it was Edward had the ball, and he was trying to fake it and all that. And because it was in the lockdown season, Scott Brown shouted, "Pass the ball, you!" And it just broke to Jetty. I think Joe Hart, as we touched on, I think we obviously went into a good wee argument in episode 6. If you haven't seen that, we recommend you go. Not an argument. We had a good discussion. I think we recommend you go and have a wee discussion. I think it might lean towards what I was saying a wee bit more. But I also think you now have 3 weeks to get a fee for him, or he's going to be here for the rest of the year. I don't think we're going to get a fee for him. So look, by the end of the day, how much did it cost us? £1 million. Right, £1 million. We've lost bigger money and had less paybacks than Joe Hart. What he's given the club and what we might get from selling him or getting rid of him. We'll touch on at the end of the day, look, we take it. But there was definitely a negative. I'm going to remind you. The ball came back to Joe Hart. He tried to take a touch. He opened up his foot, and he nearly gave the ball away. Nearly gave away a stupid goal. He just looked dead flat-footed even from the first goal with the header. Didn't come out. Didn't command the box. For the second, he was flat-footed for the second goal as well. He didn't. I don't even think the ball just flew past him. And sometimes that can happen if the ball's moving really fast. As we know, some goals are unsavable. But I don't think in a while Joe Hart's made a save that you wouldn't make him expect him to make. He often doesn't wow us with his. In the first season, he did. In the first season, he was getting down, making saves left, right. Save against Bayer Leverkusen, and it was brilliant. We really enjoyed it, and it was really wonderful. But now we're not seeing what we've seen under guys like Craig Gordon and Fraser Forster. We're not seeing saves that you go. How did they do that? That was exceptional. Saving goals. I just don't think he's up to it anymore. I don't know whether it's in his head or it's his ability. I think he's playing with the ball at his feet. Look, the best manager in the world, Pep Guardiola, hunted him because he couldn't play the ball at his feet. That's why he got rid of him. Then replaced him with Claudio Bravo. So I don't know if we look at whatever Pep Guardiola does is the fact of God. But a lot of people are saying he's the best manager in the world. So if the best manager in the world's looking at someone, even the best manager in the world makes mistakes. Yeah, absolutely. And the best manager in the world saying that he can't play with the ball at his feet, and we're coming into a system now of football where all the top teams that play in Europe have a goalkeeper who can play the ball at his feet.
Ederson, Alisson,
Neuer, even
Courtois.
Even Onana who's went to Manchester United, as much as he's been picked to
he's been out with Onana, Good when I was signing for Celtic, Joe Hart, you stay, we love you.
A lot of these guys play the ball at their feet, and it's just a modern game now. And it's maybe, and I remember seeing something online, it was maybe the game's passed Joe Hart on because how unfortunate he's been. That's now the way that it's going, where goalkeeper Fraser Forster's been the best goalkeeper that we've witnessed at Celtic, arguably.
Couldn't come out and catch a ball.
He was glued to his goal line.
He had his negatives, but he had a lot more positives than negatives, and that's why.
He was glued to his goal line. The big guy was brilliant.
But for a guy 6'7", coming off his goal line and catching the ball, just
horrendous.
He was scared. He looked scared.
Horrendous. Should we?
Let's go into the second negative. Now, I agree that there's not much evidence behind this. I don't think there is, but I did hear people speak about it at Celtic Park.
Rio Hatate started on the bench. Now, Rio Hatate is a brilliant technically footballer. We literally had a debate not that long ago on here saying is he the best centre mid, and I stand by that. He's excluding Scott Brown, Callum McGregor and Tom Rogic, not in that order. He's the best centre mid that me and Jack have witnessed, because being the age of 22 and 21, that's my opinion. Obviously
if he puts in the technical ability, has everything,
now this is where the Celtic fans jump the gun, and this is what annoys me about Celtic fans, because a lot of grumbling saying he wants to leave because he didn't take photos with kids or something on leaving. And then last night, I don't know if anyone had the privilege of listening to a phone call-in show called
Super Scoreboard.
Hugh
Keevins, if you're watching, get us on. By the way,
I love you, Hugh. I've never disliked you once.
Never disliked you. Beat the pundit. We'll get you. Don't you worry about that.
I think there was a gentleman, I'm not going to say his name because whatever, not bothered by it.
Everyone's entitled opinion, as we said.
And he was talking about Jota being sold and things like that. And we're going to come on to transfers quickly, but there's obviously nothing for us to talk about Hatate leaving because there's no rumours just yet, just grumblings. Rio Hatate could be replaced at Celtic and should be sold. No, and the next one, no. We cannot replace Hatate this season because we've just lost Jota and Moy, and we're going to lose one more that we're going to talk about. So there's 3 starting 11 players from last season.
Rio Hatate isn't going anywhere.
Right.
He's staying here now. He's had a couple of bad games. It happens. I don't think Rio Hatate hates Celtic. I don't think he's sick of being here. I don't think he wants to leave. He's having a couple of bad games. He's having a bit of bad form, like every footballer does in their career at some point. Okay? He's going to be back in top form. He's not going anywhere because not only, I don't think there's as many teams interested for the money we're looking for. He's too vital to lose. We can't lose him, Moy, Jot, and Portuguese guy, and this other guy
that we're going to touch on
in the same year. We are keeping him. He's here. He's here. I think his contract's about 2 years he's got left, or however long it's left.
I think it's 2.5, 3 years. Something.
He's not going now, and I don't think if he does go, it'll be for the right money. We're not going to be selling him for under what he's valued.
I think that Hatate knows how vital he is. Now, I think he doesn't maybe suit every team's system, but I think he knows how good a footballer he is, and I think he knows how much he's appreciated by the Celtic fans, and I think we'll get one more year out of him, and then he'll go. We can't afford to lose. Forget the other two, Moy and the one we're going to talk about. We can't afford to lose Jota and Hatate in the same window. That just... I don't mind mentioning his name. I still love him.
Not in this podcast.
That just reminds me of the season that... I think it was Lennon's last year that we lost when Yam and Hooper in the same window. Yep. You can't afford to lose 2 guys of that standard in the same window.
No, but I don't think it's going to... Look, I don't want to read too much in it because I don't think it's... A lot of guys are worrying and we're worrying over nothing. And a lot of guys worried, and what happened later on Saturday night has relieved us a lot of stress. Now we're happier and we're going places in the next couple of weeks with a lot less pressure on us. Good. Now, transfer rumours.
Is that our holly bags? Is that the international dream?
Well, yeah.
Transfer rumours. David Turnbull has said, and I quote, I'm up for the challenge of proving I'm worthy for a new deal. I'm not thinking about it too much just now. I'm just going to play my football, try my best in every game, and what will be will be. Of course, I want to stay here. Talking about David Turnbull.
David's a good boy.
David wants to be here.
Look,
am I the biggest David Turnbull fan? No. Do I think he's going to play well under Brendan Rodgers? Yes.
Just wait till halfway through the season, you'll have a David Turnbull shirt, 'cause I'm buying it. Right. So look,
I'll hold you to that.
yes, look at me and heed what I say right now. David Turnbull is going to be brilliant. I've said it, I'll say it again. He's going to play well. Look, he's going to try his hardest, and that's what we need. We need guys who, maybe lack the wee bit of, technical ability, and he's not as good as Hatate. I think he's equally as good as Matt Riley, though. No, I think he is. Hear me out, right? Hear me out.
Okay.
We need a guy who's going to put in effort, and he is going to put in effort. He's going to run, he's going to slide tackle, he's going to win the ball back, he's going to move forward, he's going to move sideways, he's going to score, he's going to have
That's
shots.
his job.
Exactly.
That's Roy Keane. That's his job.
But look, well, at the end of the day, we've seen how many guys have we seen at Celtic who do not do the basics.
I think he does the basic, and I think he ticks the box, and I think he's brilliant to have around the club because he ticks off the coefficient mark. Celtic need to have obviously so many Scottish players.
Yeah, so we're just keeping him for the coefficient.
No, I didn't. Well, hold on, stop.
Okay,
One, he meets the coefficient mark. Two, I don't think Ange Postecoglou properly rotated his team with the midfield. Ange says he never had a set team. For me, I think he did.
Well, he had the set players,
yeah,
right, let's be honest.
David Turnbull could have easily played at points last season in games like St Johnstone, Ross County, things like that. He said the best opportunity he was going to get was to prove himself against Ross County. He's done that. 3, he is a good player. Now, I don't like him because he's not quick enough. If it was me, I want quick football like we witnessed under Ange, but he is a good footballer. Maybe just even remember sort of Tom Rogic in that number 10. See if David Turnbull was there, I think he would get on alright.
Yeah.
But once again, Tom Rogic wasn't the quickest guy. He was smart with the ball at his feet.
His feet was a really good footwork.
But Ange obviously took a liking to him.
Yeah.
We'll move on because David Turnbull, obviously, we've touched on quite a bit. I do think he is going to get a contract. I do think probably, do you know what, he deserves one because he's been here a long duration of time, and was it 4 years now? And I think that we can get him to work under Brendan Rodgers. Mr. Lovestruck, Carol Starfelt, Mr. Lover. We've all done stupid things for love. He looks as if
at least he's not moving back to Russia like he was quoted a couple of weeks ago.
He's away to Celtic Vigo for around €5 million, well, because if we're going to get to $1 million to 500 grand profit, for me he's not enough, but
no,
he's in love.
€5 million is not enough for a player of the quality of Starfelt. I know he's got a wee bit dodgy with his feet and sometimes he's a wee bit of a bomb scare, but I still think in today's market for a centre back of his quality you're probably looking at €9 million. I can't see €5 million, it's really stupid. I don't want to touch on this too much because at the end of the day, look, see if he doesn't want to be here, I'm not even going to entertain any information about him.
I think we're in that agreement though. If a footballer doesn't want to be at the club, we get rid of them. Exactly. We've seen it with Juranovic, we've seen it with Giacomakis. Celtic are now at that point now where if they don't want to be here, fine, go.
Yeah, no, I mean,
do I think we'd have got more than €5 million for him because he had 2 years left? Yes. Do I think he's doing it as stupidly because of Jacinta? Yes.
In typical City of Lisbon. But at the same point, look, can we disagree that it's a different lifestyle and it's probably an improvement of lifestyle living in Spain living here, training the suns there, training the rain? Yeah, we agree. Look, fair enough, it probably is a better lifestyle. He'll be able to buy a bigger house.
But I think the thing that annoys me, especially even with Jota and I'll not include Giacomakis and Janovic, anyone who's going in this window, we've seen what Celtic could do the first year in the Champions League, and arguably, as much as I've been hunted in TikTok, a lot of people believe that Brendan Rodgers is a better manager than Ange Postecoglou.
In Europe, I think he definitely is.
Right, so why not go and give it another go with a better manager?
We are, but a lot of guys aren't going to be interested. They think they've ran their course, they've been here for 2 years.
Absolutely, and people are entitled to think
that's the way some guys' careers work. Now, there's something you've not put on here I read online, and I really want to address it because I'm really
go.
Haksabanović's career's over at Celtic?
I don't think so. I think it's Twitter grumblings.
Did this officially come out from Brendan Rodgers? Is there a video of him saying it?
No, I think it's Twitter grumblings.
Apparently Brendan Rodgers said Haksabanović's time's over, and if it is, and if that's, well, why?
There's no, I haven't seen anything. All I've seen is people on Twitter, and I hate Twitter for it because people just talk.
Like a load of rubbish.
I've not wrote it because it's all there was.
I know, I just wanted to say that and see if anyone in the comments, they're dinner ladies' cats pals with Brendan Rodgers' wife or something.
I think Haksabanović was dropped from the bench at the weekend because James Forrest came back in to to the team.
Yeah.
That's and just for the flag and things like that. And as I said at the start of the episode, I don't see James Forrest featuring heavily.
No.
So Haksabanovic is just.
I don't think Haksabanovic is a guy who's so bad, you know, that he's got no place ahead of some of the guys that are on the bench.
So he'll feature.
He's a versatile player.
I think he'll feature. I think he'll be fine.
Don't read too much into that.
Possible Starfelt replacements. We're looking at Harry Suter.
Whose brother's that?
John. And where was
Took
he?
us a while to
Where
get
was he?
to know
2-3 years ago? Seville. We had Rangers top on. So you think Harry Suter's coming? You're on glue. Scott McKenna. Obviously.
Please no.
The only reason I think that this could happen, which I don't see it happening, which I'm going to touch on the two that have been linked to the club. Once again, these are Twitter grumblings. Should we just refer them now as Twitter grumblings, or is that just my thing? Because that's all it is now. It's people just writing on Twitter.
I'd rather go with.
It's people writing on Twitter. It's actually.
Can we refer to the people as Twitter tits?
No, we can't, because there'll be people watching who don't like that terminology, Jack. I maybe like it. We'll use it in the pub.
Twits.
Aye, twits, aye.
Come on. I think there's Andy watching.
Probably not. The Scott McKenna, obviously coefficient, and don't you grumble. The coefficient aspect of it, it's another Scottish player to put in our ranks. He knows the league well. He's got Premier League experience. Would I take him over the other two? No. This is where we butcher the names, guys. So it's understood that Celtic have made a 3 million bid for Gustav Lagerbielke. So if they sign him from Elfsborg, he's a Swedish international.
What position does he play, Chris?
Centre back.
Wow. Okay.
So Celtic look as if this one's on the roll. It looks as if he is going to be Carl Starfelt's replacement.
It did come from quite a reputable source, I believe, didn't it?
Yeah, Anthony Joseph.
Who does usually get a couple of
he's usually quite on the ball.
Yeah.
If you're watching Anthony, thank you. Big Tony. He €3 million. It looks to break Elfsborg's record for
sold
players sold. And
interesting.
We're also linked with Volendam's Javier Mumbaya. Again, we've been linked with him all transfer window. I think it's been on, off.
Yeah,
he's another young centre half. Can we get both? Can we allow both?
No, I don't think so. I think both leaves you with like 6 centre backs and 6 centre backs.
No, but Stephen Welsh can do a shift in the canteen, and
Stephen Welsh. No, come on, Liam Skills looked okay.
Kobayashi can go back to Japan.
Oh jeez, I forgot Kobayashi.
Right,
that's
so
7. So 7 centre backs. Nah, we'll take one. We'll get one. You know, whatever one's better. Brendan,
probably Lagerbielke, I think, is whatever his name is. I think he's your probably go-to.
We take him.
But there's 4 guys we've mentioned. Obviously, we're all familiar with Scott McKenna. Harry Suter's a bit more if you're into your English football. That's not happening as well.
If you know that Harry Suter's John Suter's brother, you're one step ahead of Chris. So,
and
Michael. No, come on, remember.
Who's Michael?
Who's Michael? Some other guy. I was like, you know Harry Suter, John Suter's brother. They're no brothers. They're no related. They're like identical twins or something. They basically look like the same person.
A comrade who you are meant to know, apparently.
Who's
Michael?
Harry Suter, Australia international.
Michael Laudrup.
John Suter, Scottish international. No, rinse me. Harry Suter will be coming. Do you know Try come here for Christmas tea. Can I bring my brother John? Shut up, you. Right, can we just skim over this next bit, because I don't want to talk about it. It's load of you. Albion Jay's leaving. Possibly.
No, this is what I wanted to talk about.
Basel can't afford
right, so this is what this is. Right, hold on, calm.
Jeez, right, okay.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Yeah,
you're all up top.
A cup of tea. We're sponsored by Coca-Cola, as you can see now.
Ajeti is linked to go back to Basel. Obviously, Ajeti says he's not wanting to go anywhere at all. And see how he's won 21 grand a week contract. So whoever's agreed that, we've done Celtic. You said about the £1 million for Joe Hart. If we were to pay Ajeti off, you're looking at £1 million to pay him off. Who would you rather pay off, Ajeti or Hart?
Both of them.
You can't pay both off.
Yeah, go for £2 million. I'll pay it myself.
Great. You hear Dermot?
I'll dip into the back of the sofa and we'll find some coppers. Look, see if you want to take Ajeti. Anyone who wants Ajeti, I will personally drive him to your city of choice or airport of choice. Now, look, we want the 21 grand a week off the board. We wanted it with Barkas. Off the board. We want it with a couple other guys who are still here. Off the board.
Sorrow's linked to it.
You know, look, we could be, let's be honest, we could be saving about 70 grand a week. You know, with the players that we've got who are dead with 70 grand a week, and 21 grand of that is a lot. Now, take him away, get rid of him. Whoever Albion Ajeti's agent is, congratulations, you are a con man. Well done.
Yeah, but I think as well, the considering when we signed Ajeti, Now, I said this the other day when we signed the Jetty. I remember the goal, and do you remember when we played Lille, the 2-2 draw? So Lennon kept going on about El Yunusi and the Jetty's link up. Now, remember he had El Yunusi not permanently twice, so he signed a Jetty, and the link up in that Lille game, I think he's done a back heel for El Yunusi's rocket goal. Now, I don't think Jetty was the worst when he came in. When he started very well.
It wasn't. Look, it was like 6 goals. They scored like six goals maybe
in 6 games or something.
Yeah, something like that. Look, and then he fell away, whether it was due to personal issues, injuries.
He's not. I think the difference, if you were to look at a Jetty, you know, a Jetty's more of a sort of finisher. He's more of a.
He's a 6-yard box.
Aye, he's in that penalty area. Yeah, absolutely.
He's not going to be
whereas
moving
with
much.
Celtic now, I think the link up plays what you've got to do.
And always moving about. He's coming back. He's going forward. He's moving about.
The
he's
ball back
the
for
ball up,
Turnbull's
taking the ball.
goal against. Yeah.
We need that, and we don't need Albion at Jetty. Thanks for your time, Albion. I wish you good luck if you go back to Basel. It's a lovely city. All the money you've made at Celtic will...
Have you got a hate towards this guy?
No.
You sound as if you do.
I've got a hatred towards Celtic board wasting money, 21 grand a week.
That's fair enough.
Players who never get near the starting 11. Now, look, go back, enjoy Basel, enjoy your life. Hopefully you have a successful career. There'll always be time for you back at Celtic to empty the bins. Right, next... that's terrible. I feel like
just calm down a wee minute. Go and you get a cup of tea and we'll run through.
No, come on. You can't sound that critical at the end of the day. 21 grand.
He's a human being.
I'm not saying he's not. I told him to enjoy his time back at Basel.
Well, I don't blame him for sitting for 21 grand.
I know, so would that enough. No, you know what, actually, I did say, fair enough to you. You've made the money, good on you.
Before we go any further,
He's a good looking guy.
over the what am I looking to say? Before we go any further with the coming up game and the look into that, we would like to thank everyone for their contribution on TikTok with all the YouTube comments. With
Two
the
of our up and coming segments. We've got 2 segments today.
Yeah,
Fan pushed forward. We'll do one each. We'll introduce one each. You can take whatever one you want. On you go. Run with it.
So the favourite Celtic memory.
You like your favourite Celtic memory?
That. Favourite Celtic memory. We
put it out on our socials.
Well, yeah, and we've also asked on TikTok recently,
We've asked some people we personally know.
Yeah, so on TikTok we've asked as well. Go and check that out, guys, and we'll talk about that in the next episode. We've asked for your 3 favourite Celtic players. And
is that in the next episode?
We're going to talk next episode. We'll put that out. So we'll touch on favourite Celtic memory, and we'll touch on your 3 favourite Celtic players next episode. So we'll go through them one at a time if you want. Yeah. Mark has responded to myself and says any of the Rangers scalpings under Brendan Rodgers when he was a season ticket holder.
All brilliant games.
All brilliant.
Fantastic.
Probably, what was your favourite?
Some of the best memories.
What was your favourite?
Musa Dembele's perfect hat-trick.
No, do you know one that goes under the radar? It's when we bet them for the league, the 5-0.
Oh yeah, that was good.
The Edward double, and the one that James Forrest is in and out. That one goes under the
No, that does go under the radar, but it was a very good game. Fraser Wilson 9318 says the Barcelona game 2-1 2012 November. It was a few days after his birthday, so it felt like a late birthday present to himself. Well, Fraser, it felt like a late birthday present or any present to a lot of Celtic fans.
I think it felt like an early Christmas present to everyone
else.
It
didn't feel like real life, and we remember it vividly, even though we were younger.
I think that Charlie Mulgrew chant still haunts me. They could have won 3-1 if Mark Bartra hadn't blocked that.
And I think that created many Celtic fans around the world, and it created a lot of admiration for Celtic around the world.
And they're growing.
Not only because of the football, but because of the atmosphere, the way that the Celtic fans and the Barcelona fans interacted, swapping scarves, singing in the train together. You know, a lot of great memories for a lot of Celtic and Barcelona fans.
Gary Nick, his first Old Firm was Alan Thompson scoring from 35 yards off the bar and in. I remember watching that goal on, obviously we would have been young kids, watching that on YouTube for the first time. Very good hit, to be fair. But Alan Thompson was doing that the regular, just as normal. He was just doing that as if it was he was the original free kick taker, I'd have said, from the 21st century.
There's players that we haven't seen play, you know, full, and we haven't experienced fully that, you know, we wish we could have experienced. I think Alan Thompson and the things he was doing at that time are one of those players that we wish we could have seen. However, there's so many that you could name. Van Hooijdonk, you know, Larsens, you know, Tommy Burns, Danny McGrath, any of the Lisbon Lions, any of these guys. There's so many players that have played for Celtic that getting to experience someone like Alan Thompson and now you having the memory to speak about it is just a wonderful thing, and is what Celtic's all about.
Grant 21, Lazio at Celtic Park. Chris Julian, late winner. Fraser Forster with a massive save in the last 30 seconds. Stadium was rocking. I think, especially because that game, I think Lazio hit the post and then we went up not long after and Ryan Christie scored, and obviously late on for Chris Julian. I think, especially when you're up against these, I always end up in these big goals falling downstairs. I end up always falling.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's to do with intoxication levels or interest.
Probably is, but no, I remember that very vividly as well. That Chris Julian goal was right in front of me. And you'll never.
And it was brilliant. You know, it was a brilliant game. How do you describe these memories? You know, they're so important to many people. Tiny Thompson, his was the same as our one earlier. It was the Barcelona 2-1 game, November 2012. As I say, a vital game to a lot of Celtic fans out there.
Kevin Carrick, 85, when Celtic won the league with 10 men in 1979. I think with Celtic winning, obviously this is long before mine and Jack's time.
Well, yeah.
I think when Celtic win the league, no matter what, especially with 10 men, you're always kind of... Do you know what I mean? It means more.
It does. It helps you quite a lot. And winning with 10 men or winning.
You always remember that first league win or league win that stands out to you the most. I think that probably the 6-0 against Kilmarnock when Lennon's first stint, the 6-0 we played in that yellow top. Charlie Mulgrew was on it. I'll never forget that. I think no matter who we support, I think that, or even if you're a Rangers fan, Celtic fan, if you stumbled on here and you're a Rangers fan, you'll probably remember your first league win as well.
We've actually, there's some nice comments from a couple of guys who are Rangers fans, wishing us the best, and thank you very much. We wish you guys the best as well. Although we may be bitter rivals in the footballing sense, me and Chris always look at ourselves as people who are quite open.
We'll sit and give you a debate and things like that, and we'll give you a good chat.
We want to be as respectful as we can to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one more that I've got personally was from my good pal Joe McConnell. You're coming on the podcast, Joe.
Joe, we'll have you on.
We'll have you on, steak, pie and pints. His favourite memory was watching the cup final back in 1967 on his old black and white telly, like Tubes or however it worked back then. Wasn't around then, don't think. I know a lot of people who were watching the game back then. A lot of guys, I watched a documentary the other day about Lisbon. Guys driving around 2,000 miles or however far it was to Lisbon to drive there to watch Celtic play. Something we may never experience ourselves. Celtic play in a European final.
Hopefully
we do. But win a European final. And now that is a true Celtic memory.
That's something that will never be topped.
That's not unless we win the Champions League.
Never, absolutely.
If we win the Champions League.
If we win it, we win it. But
imagine winning the Champions League, Cal McGregor holding the trophy up.
Aye, Kyogo doing his dance in front of UEFA.
He's doing his dance in front of the full world. Now look, we can only hope. And I think, look, maybe in a couple of years if we keep investing in the Conference League or the Europa League, maybe
Conference
at that
League
level.
Probably more
likely. Look, come on, let's be honest. Look, what Rangers done getting to the Europa League final it's brilliant. And they've always done well in Europe, and they're a good team in Europe. If they can do it, I know that we struggle in Europe.
Maribor, Malmo, take your pick.
Come on. We could possibly in the next couple of years try and get something like that. Now I'm right. You're probably right. It's probably more the Conference League's our level.
Conference League's definitely our level to do it.
Look, see if you can get to the Europa League final. I'd take it.
I would take it.
But look, we might see something happen this season if we finish third in the group stages.
Hopefully we do. Once again, thanks for all the contribution, guys, and check out on TikTok and even the YouTube comments. And we're looking to see your three favourite Celtic players all time.
Favourite Celtic players all time. We've had a good response so far. We're looking for more responses, a wide variety of people. What we'll do is we'll create like a digital thing. We'll put a list of the players,
and we'll
people
go through it.
Coming back, and we'll go through it, and then we'll try and look at ourselves, and we'll see if we associate with your three. Or if we think your three are absolutely crazy, which most of them have been absolutely perfect and smart.
You wanted David Kwasi mentioned, so...
Well, look, please someone mention David Kwasi, the heart of a lion, soul of a god, and we miss him.
Aberdeen upcoming game. Aberdeen started the season with a 0-0 draw away at the Tony Macaroni Arena in Livingston. I still can't go over the name of that. Let's touch on Aberdeen. Obviously, we're not Aberdeen fans. I've done a wee bit of diving in and looking at them. Big things is
they finished off last season pretty well.
Third, Barry Robson's doing really well with them. He's doing Duke's still there with Miofsky.
Just talking about Duke coming to Celtic at some point.
I would take him. You would always take these guys.
It's like a backup. It's like a backup.
You wouldn't want to start him, but Duke and Miofsky still there. I think it's massive for the club. Leighton Clarkson returning as well from Liverpool. Another big signing.
We know that it's going to be hard. We're going up to Pittodrie. We struggle up at Pittodrie, you know, not that we struggle, but it's going to be a hard game.
It's never an easy trip up to Aberdeen.
They're going to be up for it, Celtic are going to be up for it. It's going to be toe to toe, it's going to be a battle, there's going to be tackles, there's going to be goals, and there's going to be controversy.
I think the guys that they've got in their team, guys like the Graham Shinney and Johnny Hayes are going to be leaders. I think that guys like that who have experienced Celtic before, who experienced these games before, are going to be guys to kind of they'll lean on. Graham Shinney definitely is going to be a controversial character. If there's one I was going to pick, it's Graham Shinney. They have lost Ross McCrory and Ramadani from their midfield. Ramadani definitely was a as much as I think it was Stephen Glass. I don't think Stephen Glass was. No, sorry, Jim Goodwin. It was either or.
Yeah,
they signed. I think it was Jim Goodwin. I don't think Jim Goodwin was the best manager, but he made some good recruitment. Ramadani
Jim Goodwin
just
now.
left for £1 million.
Is it St Mirren?
No, Jim Goodwin's Dundee United.
Dundee United. That's right.
And Ross McCrory as well is away. Probably I don't know how. Well,
let's be honest. In Scottish football, managers swap more than like anything. One week they're somewhere, the next week they're somewhere else. So, we never. Now, obviously, we're saying it's going to be a hard game. Obviously, might not be.
Pittodrie's always hard, but they have got a European football game to focus on. They've got Phineas or Hacken in the next round of the European tie.
And if they win that, I believe they go straight into the Europa League group stages.
Yeah, so they might be focusing on that. They might settle.
And good on them. I hope. Good luck to Aberdeen. I hope Aberdeen win their game in Europe and get into the group stages.
I think we do. I think for the coefficient to help.
I think look, I just want to see a Scottish team in there, and I want to see how they probably get pumped by everyone they play.
Well, we've seen Hearts against Fiorentina, who reached the final, and Hearts get turned over last year.
The first game it was all rosy, and everything looked like it was going to be. No.
I think the qualifier they done all right.
Was that Dundee United?
They done
Dundee United. The first game was okay.
They beat Alkmaar, and then they get turned over 7-0. Look, we want Aberdeen to do okay. I think for beneficial for us that they put all their eggs in the basket the European tie and focus on that.
Yep.
They have just dropped points away to Livingston, but most teams do that. I think we need to focus more on the kind of inexperience of the midfield, especially losing McCrory. And
I think we're going to run quite a wee bit of a midfield overload there. And we're going to put a lot of effort in midfield. We're going to have a lot of guys moving about. We're going to have a lot of passes now.
Cal McGregor, Matt O'Reilly and David Turnbull probably going to be a midfield free again.
If we can win the midfield battle there, you know, it gives us got a lot of impetus going forward. And you know, if you can move the ball through the midfield quite fast, quite strong, we can move it through to the wingers. And we're going to score some goals. And I think we will. I know it'll be a hard game. I know Aberdeen will be up for it. But at the end of the day, I must admit, this Celtic team should have enough to go out there and put on a performance. I want a win. You know, I'd take any win. I don't really care what the score is, but I just want us to go out there and look a wee bit more promising. You know, the first game we lacked a wee bit. I don't want to see as many stupid defensive mistakes. That would be a positive. A win with some strong defending would be a positive for myself.
The game is on Sunday the 13th at a 12 o'clock kickoff. As we say, that's away in Aberdeen. So, once again, if you're fortunate enough to get a ticket for the small capacity away section that they have, enjoy. If not, we're watching the TV like ourselves. Yep. Anything else you can touch on before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're interested in going forward. Look, Saturday's results helped us a lot. It took a wee bit.
There's an S in the end of that.
Results.
There's an S.
Results. Listen. Results. I'm not saying about any teams or anything that happened. Look, I think we played well. We got our business done. We often don't. We focus a lot on what's happening in the rest of the league. When at the end of the day, all we need to focus on is the football on the pitch. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you look at it and you go, well, look, it helps a wee bit because now we go to Ibrox in a couple of weeks. And I'm not saying there's not going to be any pressure, but the pressure's reduced slightly because we know now that we're not going to be behind unless we mess up considerably in the time.
Well, are we having Kelly pies for dinner tonight, or is it?
Well, I don't know. My pal Chris Boyd's coming over.
Oh, right.
He's coming over.
He's coming over. Kelly pies.
For a Kilmarnock player, he didn't look very happy for one of Kilmarnock's all-time top scorers.
Oh well.
I thought he'd been over. It was like a win-win situation.
Joyous for him. Anyway, the question of the week is,
I got this one right for once.
Jack got it right, so you all should get it right. Who is another Swedish Celt to play for Celta Vigo? Another Swedish Celt. I would say he's a bit of a cult hero.
For you.
For us.
Yeah, he scored a great goal, I remember. But I can't even give it away. But look, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. Please share, like, subscribe. follow on TikTok. We're nearly at 1,000 followers on TikTok. Something I do want to speak about is at 1,500 followers on TikTok, we're going to be doing a giveaway of a Celtic shirt. Now, it's going to be a retro Celtic shirt. Chris is wearing one of the lovely Celtic retros today. We're going to be giving away a retro shirt. We've not quite decided what one yet. We'll decide in the up and coming times. It'll probably be around the size to fit. It'll be like a large takes to large man's.
And to also enter this giveaway, what we're looking to do is you need to not just be following us on TikTok, we're following us on YouTube, and you need to be subscribed. Now,
we'll put a video with this information on TikTok. If you follow us, comment done in the comments. What we'll do is we'll do a random number generator. We'll film it all. We'll get the names. We'll do the generator, and whoever wins will get the Celtic shirt shipped out to them for them to wear or do whatever they like with it.
Perfect. Anyway, that's us for another episode. I will see you after the Aberdeen game, and I think after that's St Johnstone, or is it Kilmarnock away at Rugby Park? One of the two.
We'll figure it out. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
And see you later.
See you later.